Welcome, Creative Heart. This is a guided meditation for creative people who might be hoarding their supplies a bit, whether it's fabric, beads, or even just an idea, an outline, a draft, a plan, a website, just holding it in a space of potential rather than use, and trying to get from there to there. Settle in wherever you are. You don't have to be perfect for the next few minutes. You don't have to solve the whole project. You don't even need to know exactly where you're going. For now, you're only invited to begin. So, let's get your body a little more comfortable. You can lie back or sit up. You might soften your shoulders. If your eyes feel heavy, let them drop. It's safe to close your eyes and let go for a few minutes. You can let your hands rest in your lap or by your side. Feel your body being supported as you relax. So let's take a slow breath in and let it out. Again, another soft, deep breath. And let it out. There's nothing to force here. No one is grading you. No one gets to tell you you're wasting anything, including time and energy. One more deep breath. Well done. Any level of relaxation you can achieve right now is perfectly fine. And this meditation will benefit you no matter what. Now, I want you to imagine you're standing at the doorway of your creative space. It may look like a studio, or a desk, a kitchen table, the corner of a room, a garden, a workshop, even a spot on your bed. It doesn't have to be impressive. You only need notice that it's yours. There's an open surface, and it's waiting for you. There might be tools and supplies nearby. Colors, textures, scraps, pages, beads, thread, paint, metal, fabric, ideas, words, sounds, instruments. It doesn't matter. But it's a collection of things that you find beautiful or important or expensive. Some of them may feel ordinary, and some of them may feel precious. Notice if there is one material of any sort a fabric, a yarn, beads, even an idea, an outline, a concept that you've been saving for a long time for a special project. Something too good to use, too beautiful to risk, too expensive to waste, too rare to get wrong. I want you to just notice it without judgment. Perhaps at some point you learned that materials had to be saved until you were expert, that mistakes were costly, that starting without a perfect design and a high level of skill was dangerous, that wasting something meant that you had done something wrong, that you were wrong if you didn't get it right, and that mistakes mean you were not allowed to be creative or try new things again. And perhaps that made you careful, or in a safe state of potential. But here, in this quiet, creative space, you are allowed to remember something else. Supplies are meant to become. They're not meant to sit forever in perfect safety. Paper is allowed to hold marks. Paint is allowed to leave the tube. Beads are allowed to become earrings, necklaces, strange little creatures. Fabric is allowed to be cut. Metal is allowed to be bent or torched. Tools are allowed to be learned and used, and no one expects you to be expert right away. Because words are allowed to be messy before they become clear. The purpose of a supply is not to remain untouched. The purpose of a supply is to enter the world through your hands for its own sake and yours. It's not even something that needs to be done for money. It is expression, experience, and pleasure. And you are allowed pleasure for pleasure's sake. Let's take another slow breath. Now look down and imagine picking up something really precious, really beautiful, you've been saving for a long time. Or something new to you that you're still learning. Just one. You don't have to know what it'll become. You don't have to be expert at it. You just need to feel its presence in your hand. Let that part be real. Let's be allowed. Say quietly, either in your mind or out loud, it's safe to use my supplies. Even the very fancy ones. It is safe to begin before I know exactly how it will turn out. It is safe to learn by doing. It is safe to make something that's imperfect. It's safe to make something beautiful. It's safe to make something strange. It is safe to make something that teaches me. There will always be more beautiful things. There will always be more beautiful supplies. There is an endless amount of beauty and delicious inspiration out there. There's an endless stream of beautiful supply to discover and learn with. There will always be more. Let those words settle. Not as pressure, not as a command, just as permission. There will always be more. Now I want you to imagine doing one small thing. Some beads placed together to create a colorway. One line drawn. A small cut, a piece of fabric. One sentence written. A brushstroke. One tiny beginning. Notice what happens in your body when you imagine starting. Maybe there's a little excitement. Maybe there's a little fear. Maybe there's a little resistance or self-consciousness. Maybe you hear your inner scold. That is all welcome here. You do not have to wait until fear disappears before you start. You can begin gently with fear sitting right beside you. You can begin imperfectly. You can begin with curiosity. Imagine the project taking its first breath. It does not have to be finished. It does not have to be good yet. It does not have to justify the use of materials. It only has to begin. And with every small action, you learn. You learn what the material wants to do. You learn what your own hands know. You learn what does not work. You learn what might work next. You learn your own style by meeting it in motion. You might learn a shortcut that makes it easier next time. You might learn the next inspiration that this jump takes you to. Your creative path is not revealed by waiting. It is revealed by touching the work and doing. Now, let yourself see a small pile of past attempts nearby. Not failures, lessons. The crooked thing, the unfinished thing, the thing that almost worked, the thing that became parts for something else, the thing that taught you proportion, color, patience, design. Nothing is wasted when it teaches you, and everything teaches you. Everything in the act of doing teaches you. Waste is literally impossible as a result. Nothing is wasted. And it brings you closer to your own eye, your own hand, your own voice. And even a blatant mistake can become compost for the next beautiful thing. Now, look again at the material in your hand. Instead of asking, what if I ruin this? Try asking, what might this become if I let it live? What might I learn if I let myself start? What small beginning is available to me today? You do not have to finish every idea. You only have to build a kinder relationship with the act of beginning. One small act at a time. Let this next breath be a little invitation. I am allowed to begin. My supplies are here to support my creativity. I am worthy of the act of creative expression. I can learn as I go. Using materials is a part of making things, and making is a part of becoming. Now imagine placing this first small beginning on your work surface. A shape, a color, a piece, a phrase, a gesture, a note. It is not everything, but it is. It is. It is a thing that is there that was not there before. And you did that. Let yourself feel the relief of not having to complete the entire vision today. You are certainly allowed to take just one step and then another. You're allowed to pause. You're allowed to return. You're allowed to change your mind midway in the project, and you're allowed to let the work surprise you. And when you feel the old fear rise up again, the fear of waste, the fear of mistakes, the fear of not being good enough, you can speak to it gently. You can say, "Thank you for trying to protect me, but I'm allowed to create. I'm allowed to use what I have. I am allowed to learn in visible, tangible, muscle memory inducing ways. I am allowed to begin." Let your body receive that deeply. You're allowed to begin. You are allowed to use the good supplies. You are allowed to make ridiculous mistakes and keep going. You are allowed to become more skilled through practice. You are allowed to be a creative person in motion. It is literally impossible to truly learn without doing and using and making. So making mistakes is quite literally required of you to learn. Using supplies is literally required of you to learn. So you need never be unkind to yourself about this, even if you make a mistake. Even if you waste the supply. It's part of the process of becoming expert. You can smile at mistakes. They're here to help you, teach you. Isn't that nice? They're your friends. Now, slowly begin to notice the space around you again. Remember the support beneath your body, the air on your skin. Notice your hands. Just be aware of them. These hands do not need certainty before they create. They only need permission to start. A final breath in and out. When you're ready, you can carry this permission with you into your day, your evening, your studio, your notebook, and your supplies. You don't have to make the whole thing today. You only have to let the door open. And when the time is right, open your eyes. Thank you for taking this time to give yourself permission. You are entirely worthy as you are right now. Thank you so much for being with me today. Till next time.